Welcome to this ACAMS VideoCast. It's my pleasure to have Amr Rashed here with me. He is the head of International Cooperation Department at the Egyptian Money Laundering Unit, EMLCU. What am I called? It's
EMLCU.
EMLCU, thank you. I was trying to make it like into one word, but that seems better to just do the individual letters, yes, right? And of course, a distinguished background. You are also currently the chair of the Training and Technical Assistance Working Group in the Egmont group of the Financial Intelligence Unit. So we're pleased to have you here. Thanks.
Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you, to talk about a myriad of challenges, things on AML, CFT. Thank you so much.
Well, let's go right into it then. You know, I know that one of the things that you have been working on both at the FIU and in terms of your studies, actually, that you're in pursuit of a PhD right now, and it's around cryptocurrencies. So, you know, boy, cryptocurrency is a moving target. Things are changing all the time, lots of developments. What are the challenges now for FIUs with regard to cryptocurrencies? Many.
Actually, there are many challenges regarding cryptocurrencies. And I think you named that right, it's a moving target. And you have a lot of things that could be force multipliers for criminal organized groups. Mm-hmm. And take, for example, crypto, teller machines. We have mixers, tumblers, and all these kinds of services that used to hide the identity of transactions in the cryptocurrencies. This is from one side.
Because on the one hand, the blockchain is that, particularly if it's an open ledger blockchain, it makes it, there's the transactions are always there, and a lot of people say, no, it's really not that anonymous. But then again, as you say, this challenge of the tumblers and the ways that people remove the transactions from the blockchain, right, and make them appear somewhere else on the blockchain as something else, right? I guess,
yes.
Right? That's
yes, right. But this is true for a score of cryptocurrencies like the bitcoins, mm-hmm, which is pseudo-anonymous. But other cryptocurrencies, the privacy advocacy ones, they hide the recipients, the senders, mm-hmm, the transaction details, mm-hmm, and all these sorts of things. So
yeah, that's an important distinction, that we're not talking about one kind of cryptocurrency.
Right. There are, I would say, there are 2,000 plus cryptocurrencies involved, yeah, and they are not equal here. So that's one part of the story. Other parts of the story is the mental perception of people that cryptocurrencies are here to get rich quick scenarios. So you will find ICOs, fake initial coin offerings, yeah, where people are tempted to invest in a worthless tokens, and with the aim of having getting rich very quickly in the future. So criminals make use of this in order to get money from potential investors, and you'll find many exit scams. Mm-hmm.
Well, so it sounds to me a little bit like these are kind of overwhelming challenges in a way. Is there some hope? I mean, what are we doing at financial institutions and at FIUs in terms of trying to identify transactions associated with human trafficking that may use a component of cryptocurrency, right, and the money laundering process, and whether it's a blockchain kind of cryptocurrency or non-blockchain cryptocurrency?
Right. Well, that's of course there's a window of opportunity and there's a window of hope. People are learning, and law enforcement and FIUs are learning also. The curve is up. So first of all, law enforcement agencies and public prosecution and services should learn what are cryptocurrencies. Mm-hmm. They are not to be demonized. They are to be looked in a balanced, I would say, sight, in order to know what are the pros and cons, how to detect, how to investigate, and how to seize potentially. So learning and ongoing education on this is key here, I would say.
And I know that there are forensic services, right, that do track some of these, but it is difficult. Well, I mean, that also goes to one of the things that's sort of disturbing is that cryptocurrencies remain a small part of money laundering, but kind of a growing part, right? Even though it's a small part, or no?
Well, it's one of the things that did a very demerit to to cryptocurrencies is that when it became a mainstream word or a household word, I would say, it was associated with a dark web crime syndicate, and this is the problem with that. Mm-hmm. But who knows? It's the cryptocurrencies it's difficult to associate which part of that in the money laundering, because the blockchain I know is visible. However,
we don't,
the transactions, it's very difficult to ascribe which part of money launderers on this.
Well, I think it's really interesting. So you're saying we've heard figures that it's a small amount, but it actually could be a bigger amount because there's money being moved in like cold wallets where you don't see that online, and you can exchange that person.
Absolutely, yes. And also there is a moving threat of the terrorist financiers using cryptocurrencies, and especially with the ones that advocate privacy. So I would call that's a major challenge to law enforcement agencies and to the public sector in general.
Well, I know another topic that is important to you is human trafficking. We touched on it a little bit, just insofar as does crypto sometimes get used to, hide the proceeds of human trafficking. But I think we're seeing more dramatic cases of we were talking earlier about the 39 people that died in a refrigeration truck that was a smuggling operation. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know, they're investigating, so I can't say. There might be a trafficking element too, where people are going to have to work their passage off so that kind of forced labor that may have been a part of it too, but it's certainly smuggling human beings being moved. Anyway, this is a huge issue and a tragedy. But we're making some progress, or
I think the world is making some progress in this, and luckily, we 2 or 3 years ago, it was a high yield, high proceeds, low risk crime for organized criminal groups. But this is not any longer. And it's a crime that's hiding in plain sight. So the Europol, I'm going to cite an interesting research from the Europol, giving child begging in a major European city would earn 300 euros a day. That goes into the deep pockets of the organized criminal groups and human traffickers. So with a crime of this magnitude of 150 billion US dollars, this money should go somewhere. And it's the role of, I think, financial institutions and law enforcement and FIU people to try to detect the financial elements, to follow the money. So this is the part of, if you cannot get the predicate offense of human trafficking or even migrant smuggling, then it's the role of financial intelligence people to get to the money laundering aspect and the professional money laundering networks that try to move this money from one hand to another.
Well, I think it's so important when you said one of the things that has become a recurring theme is that you can often prosecutions can be made on the basis of the forensic evidence from where the money is moved, and that's often really a great thing because of the highly traumatized nature of the victims who otherwise are called in to make these prosecution cases. And it also gets to this element of international cooperation.
Right.
And that's what FIUs are all about, and like what can we say about the state of international cooperation right now?
Well, thank you. Thank you about this question. It's near and dear to my heart. And yes, international cooperation within FIUs, it's so money laundering 101 is moving money locally and more preferably for OCGs into internationally. And this is the aim, is to cut the traces of the money gotten from the proceeds. So, and organized criminal groups, money launderers and terrorist financiers are jurisdiction shopping. Right. So they are trying to inspect the weaker links in any country to infiltrate the system with their money. So this speaks loads about the international cooperation. For example, the Egmont group of FIUs is broadly having 164 members of FIUs who can share information, intelligence among their members. I would say 2 years ago, there has been 23,000 bits of information shared among FIUs, which shows and how international cooperation could be very efficient to seize, detect.
And in theory, that's an accelerating trend of that information being shared. And in theory, we hope one of the reasons we have these conferences here that we're at and everything is that the quality of the information is also getting better. We hope so.
Yes, absolutely right. And international cooperation should have in fact, a perfect international cooperation request should come from a well-trained FIU with asking for the right information on the right intelligence from a recipient FIU, which is and both should be autonomous and be able to protect this kind of information. To give you a glimpse of how international cooperation can help, I will bring you one example from the region. The FIUs of Lebanon and Tunisia, they managed with successful international cooperation to recover $31 million into Tunisia that got usurped by illegal practices. So
a nice victory in what is a tough fight. And Amr, I want to thank you for taking some time to talk with me about the cryptocurrencies, human trafficking, and this fight against financial crime. Thanks.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. Thanks.
Thanks for watching this ACAMS videocast. I'm Kieran Beer, Chief Analyst for ACAMS. And if you've liked what you've seen, then please subscribe. We hope to see you again. Thanks.